No, 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 Mr. Fish, you won't go to your family. You will go in this ёбаный тазик, блядь.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Highfleet. Ah, fuck, hold on. So, he's here, and he's moving this way, got it. Oh, that's right, we are filming a video here. Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Highfleet. God damn it!
Emission detected. Kill confirmed. The enemy has been destroyed. Target destroyed.
Oh yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to So, I usually joke about this a lot, but this game is indeed a hidden gem masterpiece, and I already know what that means for me, but I'm still here to make a video on this game regardless, and how could I not? This game is so good, with its amazing visuals, diesel punk setting that I did not know existed as a genre. What the fuck? Was steampunk that enough for you nerds or what? Now hold on a second. Yeah, maybe there is something here, I don't know. The game is just so atmospheric and filled with so many mechanics, aesthetics that make your jaw drop, and some pretty on-the-nose Dune references. On-the-nose references. Get it? Cause it's on the nose? Shut up, you're not funny, okay? But for now, let's start with the very basics.
Warning, radar emission detected.
If I were to describe Highfleet, I would say that this is a mix of Paradox stare at the map for 8 hours a day game and Touhou bullet hell on roller skates on an ice ring type of game. Your main objective is to capture city of Kiva in a sort of guerrilla-like warfare. You have to capture cities to buy fuel for your ship and move from one city to another, striking fast and silent before the opponent can raise an alarm. Because while you are clawing your way into the city of Kiva, there are 6 armed to the teeth strike groups carrying missiles and extremely tanky ships to send your ass back to home screen because you rage quitted the game, you fucking pussy. If you think this is kinda impressive, don't worry, there are also about 12 aircraft and missile carrier groups that can strike as far as 2,000 meters away from their position, demolishing your entire fleet in seconds. But yeah, you can go have fun now since that is out of the picture. Oh no, you can't, but of course you can. God fucking damn it. And yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The game is extremely tough, punishing and stressful, not only during the navigation process, but during the battle as well. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is not fine. One of your side objectives is to also locate the Tarkans, who are basically sort of not really fleet commanders, and there are a lot of those, and they're better be treated as Pokemon, but instead of feeding them berries and capturing them in a Pokeball, you stroke their ego and take away their ships. Ah yes, a fine addition to my collection. You can also become a certified gamer in this game. Now I can finally log on to Call of Duty again. And also the fighting is just so juicy! Sometimes. And speaking of fighting, you're going to be doing a lot of it, so let's just talk about it first.
Warning, radar emission detected.
Now, fighting in Highfleet is always more strategic than in games like Touhou, where this is considered an easy boss. It might seem like the fighting is easy when you first start the game, but in reality, it is not. Now, there are a lot of ships in Highfleet. There are cruisers, corvettes, tankers, aircraft and missile carriers, frigates, each with different variants, but the most important part of a ship, when we're talking dogfights, is gun. Can a ship shoot? Or better question, should a ship shoot? That's right, not any ship is supposed to be an anime girl dodging projectiles, and funnily enough, more than half of your fleet should not even be close to a fight, but more on that later. There are a lot of specifics to talk about here, but in my opinion, when it comes to dogfights, there are only 4 ship types you should consider. Light ships, a bit armored ships, heavy ships, and oh my god, how is that thing even flying ships? Lightweight ships are a must-have and the thing that is going to carry your ass in the early game. The prime example of which is Lightning. It is an extremely fast ship that can not only secure you a silent strike on an enemy fleet pretty much with a guarantee, but additionally can dodge every single projectile that is flying its way. Armed with 100mm cannons, it is not really effective against late game flying killers, but that does not mean that they are useless. You see, late game dogfights usually look like this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Off to hang myself.
And your extremely heavy ships do not have the ability to move at the sonic speed, so unless you shoot down the missile, it is going to hit. And you don't want that to happen, because one precise missile shot can seal the deal really quick. What the fuck was that shit? So a good strategy with your fast ships is to fly in, annoy every existing ship there is into shooting rockets at you, and then just skedaddle away from there. If you can, that is. Let me out. Let me out. I wanna leave for Christ's sake. God fucking damn it! Light ships are also really good for catching trade ships that dare to come close to you, and you should be doing that a lot, because money in this game might seem like a not that hard to get resource, but you would be very wrong when you hit the late game. Oh, and if you're already sold out on the idea of a light ship standing there with your credit card out and yelling, "Bass, I am sold, I am buying the game, getting all the lightnings, how do I win?" I sure hope you enjoy seeing things, because you won't be doing that anytime soon. I can't fucking see anything! To make lightweight ships a bit more balanced, developers introduced this mechanic called G-Force, and believe it or not, it's a real life thing that a lot of jet pilots experience, and no, for God's sake, I am not talking about the dumb guinea pig movie, that was not even good, but in this game, it just makes this effect that is slightly annoying to say the least. So, as a light ship, try not to use afterburners all the time, as this effect can cause a very nasty hit that will send your ass spinning into a barrage of machine guns faster than a commentary YouTuber uploading a video on a topic he has heard 2 seconds ago. Middleweight, slightly armored ships are my favorite type to use, as they still have the speed to dodge a missile or normal shots, but usually pack a more serious punch. A prime example of which is Gladiator, which is one of the best stock ships in the game. And if you're bad like me, that armor plating you get just might save your ammo from exploding half of your ship. Now, heavyweight ships like Archangel take a while to kill and usually can two-shot small attack ships, if you can hit them, that is. But they are extremely slow and feel awful to control, and since flares are a literal scam, dodging heat-seeking missiles is close to impossible unless you shoot them down. I rarely use these, apart from the late game, as they eat a ton of fuel and are useless in a silent strike due to how slow they are. But if you are fighting a strike group or a very heavy guarded city that you scouted via planes or the magical power of safe scamming, you can use those to annihilate everything you see. Just don't forget to burn the missiles with a light corvette first, or your immobile ass will absolutely be destroyed by funny beeping circles. And of course, last but definitely not least, the huge, enormous, gregarious strategic ships like the glorious Sevastopol. This thing is a beast! Using it feels like you are unstoppable, tearing through strike groups like butter, barraging missiles with your machine gun, and just listening to this. But then you land your beauty, see the repair cost, and immediately regret every single decision you've made. These gigantic ships like Nomad, Varyak or Sevastopol are basically one-man army and usually your last resort in a tough fight. They are extremely tanky and pretty much unkillable unless you fuck up really bad, but fixing it takes a long time and a lot of money, which creates this cool dynamic of, should I take this fight with my normal ships, or is it pretty much unwinnable and I should use this thing instead? The best thing about these ships is that they come with auto-included nukes, so, you know, I won't judge you if you become a gamer once or twice.
Mission complete.
A thing I really hate about them is that every time you are struggling with some fight, they are just there, constantly staring at you from the corner of the screen like, yeah, we both know you suck, you can't win the normal way, press it. Do it! So I would suggest unequipping them the first chance you get, not only because they can be destroyed in combat, but also because it will make sure that intrusive thoughts never win. So we talked about the classes, but never really talked about the fighting itself. Basically, you can only control one ship at a time, while the enemy is constantly using 4 ships, thus being in constant advantage. So even if you end up in this situation... О боже, царя храни. The enemy will always use 4 ships, not more, not less. This is both good and bad, because despite being not so overwhelmed, as you usually are, the new ships that come to fight you have all their missiles loaded, so you have to really plan ahead of this happening, as collecting the missiles to your light ships won't be so effective. Also, despite your enemies being as huge as about 4 pixels on your screen, I cannot stress enough the importance of picking your targets. You do not always shoot at the ship and pray for good luck. That's what I do most of the time, but you don't do that. No, you have to try your best to aim at the ship's weak points, that being ammo, fuel or engines. Shoot off an engine or two and enjoy the enemy ship slowly drifting to the bottom of the screen, meeting its inevitable demise, and laugh at that idiot like it's Team Fortress 2 casual. Shoot the fuel tank and it will ignite the entire ship, burning down the fuel faster than I show speed viewers losing interest in a video where a person does not bark every 2 seconds. Shoot off the ammo compartment and enjoy hands down the best part of this game. Oh yeah, I coomed after that one. Remember when I said that dogfights are more about strategy than skill? Well, this is true. A majority of your success in a fight usually depends on you picking who to shoot first, or who to prioritize at least, or even where to shoot. Of course, ammo explosion is amazing, but you can also shoot off the missiles that they are going to launch at you, or even better, angle the missiles in such a way that they themselves will destroy it for you, or even better, angle it in such a way so it will hit an enemy instead. You will not believe the amount of kills I got from friendly fire in this game, especially against heavy ships, helplessly trying to hit a small ship that is flying as fast as the least fast scout player and just constantly hitting his own ships instead.
Think fast, chuckle nuts!
There is also a lot of depth here that you should constantly make use of on the spot, like hiding behind a dead ship to serve as cover, or selecting the right ammo before the fight starts. Yep, that's right, there's also special ammo in this game, and I've been sleeping on it for way too long. There are 4 different types of ammo, each with their drawbacks and benefits, the first being the most fun by far. Proximity fuse is your legal cheat. This type of ammo makes sure that you literally cannot miss, unless you're really trying to. It makes the shell explode when it is in the close proximity of anything. Dead ships, missiles, bombs, dead missiles, so you have to really think when to shoot these. Hands down, the best thing about these things is that the fast enemy ships will never be a problem for you, as you can melt them in seconds with these babies. The drawback, of course, being that it is not usable in certain situations, and the fact that it is practically worthless against armored targets, but during all stages of the game, this should be loaded on your lightweight ships to clear out missiles and small annoying ships that your big boys will have trouble with. Next ones are incendiary ammo, and these ones are kinda not that fun to use. I usually use them with smaller guns like 37 and 57mm, as it is the only upgrade this caliber can get, but I would always prefer a different type of ammo to them in any fight. Sure, they can ignite the fuel faster and keep it burning for a long while, but I did not find a use for them that will make me go, wow, this is so good. But perhaps a more experienced player would tell me about that use. And speaking about, wow, this is so good, remember when I said that 100mm cannons are not that good late game? Well, I lied. With the power of armor-piercing shots, any gun is viable. Kaboom! Armor-piercing shots are pretty straightforward and a literal cheat, even more than a proximity fuse is. Load this bad boy up and even the most heavy armored ships will go up in flames as long as you don't miss. You can literally snipe off ammo with ease while having this equipped. Definitely stock up on AP rounds for the late game, you will thank me later. And the last ammo type is laser guided rounds. I might be wrong here, but it seems like they do a lot more damage than normal ones, and also make sure that you do not miss that often. These are the only rounds in the game with no real drawback, despite their scarcity and price. But equip those on Sevastopol and whoa, you're basically losing money not buying those, come on. And with that done, we are moving to the actual main gameplay of the game, called staring at your map.
Warning, radar emission detected.
Now, flying around and shooting green dots at people might be fun. Your actual gameplay of Highfleet is you Ikari Gendo staring at your map, thinking of where you want to go. Now, flying straight to Kiva is an option, and the goal, but the ships eat diesel like an average American drinks piss in a bottle. A lot. So you need to constantly refuel. Luckily, there are fueling stations just for that, where fuel is cheaper, but you cannot get them all the time, so sometimes you have to go for pricey fuel since you literally don't have a choice. Oh, and if you're wondering, if you run out of fuel and not at land, you're dead. Even if you're 1mm away from the city, you lost. Did I mention the game was fun? But refueling is one thing. What if your ship got hit with a little bit more bullets that he could ask for and lost a couple of engines and a gun? Well, guess little repairing work is due. Guess I'll just have to land here and fix the ship. Oh no, they don't sell these components here. What the fuck? Now I have to fly to a specific city that sells these rare components, like planes, rockets and spare parts. You land there and pray that they do sell those, because it is never a guarantee that a certain part will appear. But let's say it is there. What, do you think you can just install it there? No, fuckface. Fixing the ship will take too much time and someone will definitely sneaky snitch on your ass and a big bad ship will miss out the living hell out of you. So, what do you do then? You fly to a specific city that fixes the broken ships and you fix it there. Did I mention that there is not a single city that is friendly to you? Each time to enter a city to refuel or buy something, you have to fight a squadron. It is not a big problem in the early game, but in the late game it is kinda like this, so you are fucked. If your core attack group is injured to the point of not being able to fight at all, it will be not that smooth of a sailing from that point onward, because if there is not a silent strike being made, the enemy knows you are there. And you know what the enemy does when it knows you are there? Wait, what is this M thing on the map? Oh, is this like a minigame? Oh fuck, they hit my ship. I'll have to fix it now, I guess? That's right. Any ship that is not a flying Panzerkampfwagen Maus 2 is almost with a guarantee dead. And each strike group carries about 4 missiles in total, so you do the math, my friend. And that is only considering that this is a strike group that spotted you and not a missile carrier or, god forbid, an aircraft carrier. Seriously, when you first start playing the game, this sound is terrifying.
Thermal signature detected.
And this just sounds like a death sentence. You have a lot of ways to deal with the missiles, but a bit more on that later. For now, let's think of how do we know who spotted us. There are some cities that can provide you with intel about current locations of strike groups that are out to get you, tactical frigates such as missile or aircraft carriers, or trade caravans that is basically your source of money. Do not expect to learn everything in one place, you'll probably get the position of 3 tactical units and go someplace elsewhere, since strike groups can be spotted with another way. Radio interceptor. This is one of the most important tools of this game and is not to be underestimated. The power this thing gives is insane. Do not be like me and think of it as a gimmick. This is a weapon in the right hands. If you're in the proximity of 2,000 meters away from a strike group or trade caravan, you will get a message from them saying either where they are or where are they heading. You can even pinpoint both if you are smart enough and use your ruler a lot. Knowing where a strike group is crucial, because you can missile or bomb the living shit out of them like the proud American that you are, and they won't even see it coming. A taste of their own medicine, as some might say, but also it may help avoid the confrontation entirely, with you causing a ruckus somewhere, baiting them to come here and leaving in a completely opposite direction. Just be careful to not accidentally find a second strike group that just so happens to fly from the opposite side, because that happens sometimes. But if the message happened to mention something about cargo, it is a trade ship. And you know what that means?
Money.
By reading the message properly, you can determine where the ship is or where it is heading, whether it is being escorted or is it heading to escort ships, where it is being refueled or repaired, but most importantly, whether you can intercept it. The light ships are perfect for it, moving at almost 3 times the speed of a trade ship, so you can catch it quite easily and bring it back to Mother Base for some sweet, juicy money. But after some time, the enemy will know that a certain guy is listening to them, so they will encode their message and change the key every 10 days or so. Luckily, it is not a problem at all. If you've been paying attention to the messages they're sending, they usually have the same keywords in them, like arriving, ETA, cargo, expect, and so on. So you can use your encryptor to decipher these messages quite easily. You can also get a part of the key to the code, but it is practically worthless, unless you are really struggling to find the keywords. The most important part of the looting is a piece of paper telling you where to find Tarkans. Now, Tarkans are potential allies that you can recruit to join you through the power of speech. Also gifts that are like to call bribes, or by simply saying what they want to hear before the negotiations even begin. And these guys can provide support to you if you are desperate, and I mean really, really desperate. Do not waste their help, you will regret it. But if you do in the need of help, your allies can grant you intel on the enemy position, some money, or even free random ships, some of which, by the way, can be a baby version of the Sevastopol, which is kinda OP. But of course, since it is an indie game made by a fairly small team, there are some rough parts that I would like to address, so let's get to it.
Warning, radar emission detected.
The game has some rough edges, and I want to start with the most obvious one. The story is really bad and seems unfinished. Some characters do not make sense at all, there's way too little of actual story, and it is weird, because the premise is alright. Sadly, I cannot really explain why the story is bad, because the majority of the sad story happens in the end part of the game, and I really do not want to spoil it, as I want you to try the game for yourself and then write me in the comments of how much you hate me for even recommending this to you. But what pains me a lot is the whole Tarkan thingy. I mean, look, their design is amazing, especially this one guy who happens to be my favorite character in the whole game. Since you are playing as a young guy who has no real war experience and basically got the spot of the fleet commander by being born as a royal, everyone who lives and breathes war looks down on you, which is amazing, but despite that, their mechanics are really poorly executed. The negotiation process is just random bullshit all around. Not only are some of the characters' traits are randomized, so your options of topics to talk to. Sure, you might see the guy and immediately guess that he's evil and likes violence, but does he value justice? Or is he religious? Is he for money or Gerard? Fuck you is the answer, because these are random every time you talk to him. There is this one character who is really important in the late game, and I was not able to recruit him because the game kept giving me only shit options. In 3 rounds of negotiation, not a single topic was a positive for him. This is so stupid. And let's say you did recruit him, but with only 1 star. What happens now? well, chances are 100% you'll not be able to increase these stars ever. That's right, it's not much of a relationship bar and more of a resource. Once it is out for good. There are only 2 events in the whole game that happen to do anything regarding these stars, and do not even get me started on the stats. Your character, believe it or not, has stats that grow according to your choices in dialogues with the Tarkans, or your choices in very, and I cannot stress it enough, very rare events that happen in the game. And these stats, absolutely, not at any point in the game do anything at all. There is only one event by the middle point of the game where stats actually do something, and that thing is so minor that it is negligible. And that is all, that's it, that's all the stats are for. This whole game I was worried about saving survivors, because if they die, I lose kindness. But knowing now that it is not doing anything for me, I'm just gonna get me some money and nuke some people instead. You know, it's not a war crime if I'm having fun, right? And since I'm not really having fun, I guess this is a war crime after all. Throwing away that vestigial of a mechanic, this game is very weird at parts. Missiles being obnoxious to deal as they are can be even more of a pain if the game feels like it. There are certain rockets called Sprint, the sole purpose of which are to intercept incoming missiles and destroy them before they can destroy you. Simple, right? Yeah, there's no joke here, it is very simple. Press C twice and the missile is gone. These rockets are quite rare, but a lot of ships can carry them, your big titty mama girlfriend Sevastopol being one of those ships. But these rockets are also a complete scam. If the missile decides to target the ship that is lower to the ground, your sprint rockets will not be able to hit at all. You cannot give orders to ships, nor you can change the order of the ships when fighting a missile, so you just stand there helplessly looking at how both of your sprint rockets miss every single time. It is so dumb. And the best thing is, both missiles and aircraft bombs are completely dodgeable. That's right. I get that whole one ship at a time business, so AI would not screw the fight up, but they do! Instead of juking left or right, they just stand there saying,
"My time has come."
Just move! And sometimes it even seems like they get hit on purpose, like, what is this? What are you doing?
I want to die.
But now is the most important complaint of them all. This game does not teach you shit. I am a big fan of no hand-holding games. Seriously, I adore when the game teaches me the controls and just kicks me in the ass and says, go have fun. And I go like, thanks game! But in a hugely complicated game like this, where strategy is of most importance, you're not even being told how to use 2 of the most important mechanics of this game. Missiles and aircraft carriers. These 2 are quite literally the most important part of late game. During the last hours of your campaign, you probably won't even have to dogfight anymore, as all you'll be hearing is
Missile away! Missile away! Missile away!
Up until my 3rd playthrough of this game, I did not know that there are rockets interceptors that, despite being really buggy, are insanely good at dealing with the enemy missiles. The game does not tell you how the special ammo works or even which ship components are which. Seriously, the item descriptions are so confusing at times, it's like I'm playing Dark Souls all over again. It is especially bad with the engines, oh my god, they are confusing. If you don't really like to play the game, I would recommend airplanes. These things are essential to the game. They can destroy heavy ships like it's nothing, annihilate enemy aircraft with ease, and can occasionally destroy a rocket with an AA missile that is for some reason close to being completely useless against a missile. But nevertheless, planes are not important. They are fundamental, and the game never, not even once, teaches you how to use them. But once you figure it out, the game becomes twice as fun. My only gripe with the planes is that there are 2 types of them, LA-27 and T-7, and there is no real reason to buy LA-27 at any point in the game, as the T-7 does everything that LA-27 can do, but 10 times better, and only costs about $1,000 more. I get that some of the mechanics need to be learned by the player, but this is not one of them. Same with components and other things in your disposal like jammers and fleet division, which is also a core mechanic, by the way, that the game never teaches you. You see, dividing your fleet is incredibly powerful. Not only do you cover more ground, but get more fuel, since less ships, faster refueling. It is insane how necessary it is, but alas, the game doesn't tell you could do that at all. So even if you watch this video, be prepared to waste hours watching YouTube tutorials or Steam guides trying to guess what the fuck did you do wrong and what can you do to not piss yourself every time you hear
Warning, radar emission detected.
But the game does teach you some of the mechanics that you can accidentally glance over due to how vague the explanations are. So I cannot stress it enough. Listen very carefully what this handsome man is telling you, or you will end up in this situation very quickly.
Skip. But when does this game get fucking good?
Warning, radar emission detected.
And despite all of that, all of the bugs and other mess they had to learn through pure pain and suffering, and this game being so fucking shit, I cannot stop playing. God!
Warning, radar emission detected.
Sure, the game is frustrating and brutal and punishing and dumb and stupid, it is also really fucking good. Breathtaking visuals and satisfying as hell ship landing aside, when you learn exactly how the game works, it becomes so fun! You can even build your own ships for this game, which is always cool, and an important note here that pretty much 99% of vanilla ships in the game are garbage. You can spend about 5 minutes in the ship builder and create a ship that will be better than any base ship in the game. But to be honest, I've never had a problem with that. Vanilla ships are more aesthetically pleasing and the enemy is using the same flying turds you are using, so, you know, it's kinda fair. But usually what you will create is an armored flying box, which is not that cool to look at, or a flying penis, or perhaps a flying dick and balls. Come on guys, be original a bit, will ya? Behold my glorious creation! Not only does it coom rockets, but also people. I thought of everything. Look, it works! It works perfectly. Moving on. You see, this game is very deceptive. Despite Piotr telling you that we are being hunted and we need to be careful, he's very wrong. You are not the hunted. You are the hunter.
ほう、向かってくるのか。逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくるのか。ほうほう。
Strike groups absolutely need to be hunted down and killed in cold blood, and you can easily do it with the power of the Sevastopol, missiles and friendship. You see, Piotr? The real Highfleet were the friends who met along the way. Screw you, Piotr Ignatievich! I am the tutorial now. Get to lightnings and the longbow, don't forget a tanker, divide your fleet and start earning money, get your intel on the aircraft groups, grab your drawing compass and mark a territory of 2000 meters away from them, as this is their effective range. These vessels do not move. The game also forgets to mention that. Stock up on special ammo, heat-seeking missiles, T-7 interceptors, and most importantly, check what engines your ships are running and stock up on those as well. Also don't forget to stock up on fire extinguishers, because for some reason, not every single shop runs them. Hunt down the enemy strike groups, as those do not respawn and there are only 6 of them. Once you kill them all, you practically won. And never, you hear me? Never attack a missile carrier unless you know it is 100% safe to do so, as strike groups really like to babysit those like the pybros that they are. Once you know all of this, the game will feel amazing, with you planning your moves carefully and executing them with style. Snipe those components, recruit those Starkans, nuke those cities, and most importantly, stay calm. You have all the tools to win, but most likely you don't know about them, since the fucking game won't tell you about them. Why, Piotr? Why didn't you tell me about A100s? Are you dumb, Piotr?